Any trouble is on my mind.
A very good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this Trilogue's Business and Society 2020 conference. Now, it's the 14th edition of this kind of conference, but the first of the virtual kind. My name is Gugulethu Mfuphi, and I have the pleasure of being your conference chair and moderator of conversations here today. Now, it's fair to say that 2020 has been filled with ongoing challenges and disruptions. But most importantly, what we are doing is that we are here. We are capable and we're proving to be able, despite the ongoing challenges we've witnessed that the COVID-19 pandemic and the subsequent lockdown have impacted. Not only our ongoing interactions, as ordinarily you would be in front of me in an audience. We'd be here on this stage and would have had an opportunity to engage over a cup of coffee, but that still doesn't take away the interaction from today's conference. As such, we've actually managed to pivot and become virtual. And that's the reason why we're here today. And thank you for your participation as we look to deep dive into unpacking themes and conversations that have proven to be critical in the world of corporate social giving. For that, we'd also like to thank our sponsors for their ongoing support and assisting us in pivoting and evolving into a virtual conference for this year. Specifically, our headline sponsors, Old Mutual, MTN, Rand Water and Vodacom. And of course, keeping with the conference feel, not only would you have mingled over a cup of coffee this morning, but you'd also would have received a delegate bag. But given that we're all in different spaces and throughout different parts of the world, some of you would have received a conference swag box. Now, this box is allowed to give you some insight into the program, but also allow you to keep some of your refreshments nearby and the ability to take down some important notes. And for that, we'd like to thank the sponsors of the water bottles, APSA, Capitec for sponsoring our bamboo coffee mugs, VWSA for also sponsoring our notebooks. So don't be shy. Take a quick picture of your swag box and share it with us on social media, as we'd like to see how you're putting these tools and resources to good use. But we also don't forget the ongoing support of our NPO sponsors, namely Momentum Metropolitan Foundation, Sanlam, Old Mutual and MTN. Without the joint support and efforts of each of these sponsors, today's event would fundamentally not be possible. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, we're about to get the show on the road, but many of you might be sitting back and thinking, well, how do I make sure that I engage appropriately on this platform? We've seen some of your chats and many of you are eager and excited, but to make sure that you fully grasp how it is that we still want to connect, interact and share some insight with you here today, we want to give you some insight as to how best to make use of this particular platform by taking a look at this very brief video. Fairly simple instructions, huh? I think if anything, 2020 has taught us that you don't need to be a millennial in order to navigate technology. And that's why we have this platform available to ensure that you can interact and share some of your thoughts and feedback with us. Now, I do want to draw your attention to the menu bar, which will be on the top left-hand corner of your app or the device that you might have connected on. And this is essentially your key navigation point. It will get you into the networking lounges, understand who our sponsors are, and even get some insight into some of the delegates and speakers who are present with us here in this conference. A very important element to also note is that if you do happen to experience any challenges, do make your way down the menu bar to the help desk. That's with a question mark, and there is someone who is standing by to assist you by the name of Nelson to help you navigate any technical challenges that you might have throughout today's broadcast. Now, many of you have also participated in our chat, and I see you all getting excited, some saying this is so awesome and looking forward to kicking off in a few minutes. Some of you have also noted that you haven't received your swag boxes just yet, but do bear in mind that our conference organizers are aware of this and will be able to attend to your needs at the end of this conference. One element that we do want to highlight for you, though, is that throughout the course of the day, you'll hear from a wide variety of speakers. There'll be presentations as well as conversations happening both in our main plenary as well as in breakaway sessions. Now, the content that you'll be able to view here today for you as a registered delegate will remain online for the next 6 months after the conference does conclude. So fear not if you happen to lose out any insight or not partake in specific conversations, as we will ensure that we have that information and content available to you within the next 6 months. Now, if the excitement is not buzzing just yet, we want to get you going by checking out how you're feeling this morning. And most importantly, by having you participate in our polling question. Now, our first polling question for today asks if this is your first time attending a Trilog conference. Now, if you've navigated your way to the chat section, right next to that is a handle or a heading that says polls, and you'll view the question, have you attended a Trilog conference before? In my particular case, the answer is no, so I'm certainly excited about hearing some of the feedback that we're going to get from our speakers today. But we do want you to punch in and, of course, share in those results, which we will collate in just a moment. And, of course, get some feedback as to where many of you are. So, looking at the polling results, which are coming in thick and fast, I see 37% of you say, yes, you've attended a Trilog conference before. 63% of you say no. So, seems as though I'm not alone, but certainly in good company. And we're grateful that many of you have been able to attend this first virtual conference of its kind. Now, we do also want to strongly encourage you to share the word with many individuals who might not be available to participate in the conference today. And with that said, we strongly encourage you to participate on social media platforms by not only posting some incredible thoughts and feedback that does come out of the conference today, but also sharing some of your insight and thoughts as well as you virtually participating within the conference. To do that, you can use the social media hashtag BIS2020, hashtag Business in Society, and the account name is @Trilog. Now, bear in mind, not only will this be on social media, but we'll also be able to view it here on our online platform through whichever device you might be using throughout the course of the day. Looking at the tally again of the polling questions, 62% of you say no, you've not attended the conference before, and 38% of you say yes. So we're looking forward to the 62% of you. Welcome, and let's ensure that we have a phenomenal 2 days of engaging conversation. Now, as I give you some insight as to what to expect over the next 2 days, one has certainly witnessed what COVID-19 as a pandemic and the lockdown has done in terms of its impact on our macroeconomics, on the business environment, and of course on the social inequalities that exist in South Africa. And this has not only impacted these particular subsets of the economy, but also influenced our thinking and new approaches that we certainly need to undertake when it comes to corporate social responsibility and corporate social investing. Now, this forms part of the fundamental themes and conversations that we'll highlight over the next 2 days. Our conference is split between day 1, being today, and day 2, which we'll profile tomorrow. However, both these days have been separated into 3-hour programs, where speakers, thought leaders and influencers like yourselves within society will share some of their key thoughts with us as to how we need to tackle and address fundamental issues such as youth development, how this ties in with education, and of course ensuring that we use ICT as an enabler to drive the rapid transformation and enhancing the digital skills of all within South Africa's social construct. I trust that you are excited and as excited as I am, and we'll keep your polling questions coming in. As a matter of fact, let's take one more. And the next polling question we'll ask you is getting some insight from you. All of you are different business representatives, work for different organizations, and we want to ask you our next polling question, which leads to asking you why you are here and what you're keen to learn in terms of participating from today's conference. Now, you've got quite a few options there, either to learn more about CSI, to understand innovations in CSI, or to hear case studies, to fundraise, to network, or other. So keep those results coming in. I see them moving as we go about, and we will give you some insight. But interestingly enough, there's a very clear lead on 42% of you who are here to understand innovations in CSI. That's also followed by 20% of you that say you're here to network. You're at the right place, and that's followed by 15% who say they are here to learn more about CSI. Well, let's start off on that back note then, ladies and gentlemen, as we not get an understanding of to this particular conference and the background that exists behind it, but most importantly, taking a look at the trends and themes that stand out when it comes to corporate giving in South Africa and the rest of the globe. How has this been impacted by the ongoing narrative of the pandemic? And most importantly, how is it that we need to source and solicit new ideas, new innovations, and how best can they be implemented in a country like South Africa?